What's up, Dragon Brood? I kind of just gonna go over this real quick and give a recap to what we just saw with the, I guess, state of the economy announcement. I don't know what we're calling it. It was basically just Wizards Weekly stream talking about the economy and on Arena. They covered a lot of things, so I'm just gonna read from my notes because I made a lot of notes here and just give like top line thoughts on each thing. But kind of the headline that you're going to probably be hearing the most about is that they are going to make it to where you can just purchase wildcards outright. So you'll be able to get 12 rares and 4 mythics in a bundle that will cost $50. Now, I'm going to say, or $49.99, whatever, $50. My first thought is that that's a really high number. You know, I would have preferred it be somewhere in the $35 to $40 range. You know, if you said $34.99 to $39.99, I probably wouldn't care as much. $50 feels a little heavy, but they did say they based it on the price of things they already had, which just feels like if you buy whatever the $50 equivalent bundle is in gyms, you're probably going to get 2 to 3-ish fewer wild cards. So this gives you more wild cards for the same price. However, you're also not getting all those other cards. Important because some of those cards could already be some of the things you might want to be crafting or whatever for your deck. You also get some other uncommons and other wild cards you can use to convert stuff for your chest or whatever. So there's ups and downs to it, which is why I would rather see the price be a little different. The only thing I can figure is maybe there's some concern that the $50 equivalent bundle is probably, or at least for boosters currently, is probably their most popular seller, I would guess. And they don't want to hammer that too much because they don't know what would come from having this other thing be cheaper and get the same number of wild cards. That's my guess. I don't know that to be true, but either way, I do at least like the idea that we could just buy wild cards. And that's actually important because there are some people that maybe play paper that are just going to be picking up Arena. And for them to go and just drop $150, $200 and be able to build 1 or 2 decks right off the bat, probably pretty sweet. The problem, though, is that doesn't... Now, they didn't say it wasn't going to have commons and uncommons in it, but it sounds like it's just going to have the rares and mythics. If it doesn't have commons and uncommons, well, that does introduce a different problem because now people will have all the rares and mythics on a new account, but they won't actually have commons and uncommons. So they're still going to have to open some number of boosters, which then makes the price irrelevant by comparison. So, I don't know. I feel like I need a couple more details on this. I still would rather it be $10 to $15 cheaper, but we'll see how it plays out. They did talk about another concern being that people are too afraid to spend their wild cards for good reason in a lot of cases. So they want to create a testing ground, which is something that, I don't know, maybe I need to link my video over here. But we did do a quality of life video, and that's one of those things we actually mentioned that you should have for this very reason. So there's a couple of things they brought up that we actually had in that video, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this would actually be something that they said you'll probably be playing against Sparky, most likely, but you can at least go test the cards, see if they work, do what you want them to do, before you go craft the cards and have this like permanent thing that you may not want or the deck doesn't work the way you want. So I do at least think that's actually pretty cool and something they thought about. They did also mention there will be, I guess we're going to call them premium packs that will have increased odds for wild cards, I guess guaranteed wild cards and or mythics. I don't know what they're going to cost. I don't remember them mentioning a cost. Maybe I missed it. I was also doing a live stream and trying to talk to chat, whatever, while we did it. But that's the thing that's coming. I don't know. I mean, comparatively, when you buy those bundles that are going to have the rares and mythics, you're going to be paying like somewhere between $3.12 and $3.15 per wild card, which doesn't feel that bad because it's basically like buying 3 booster packs to get 1 at $1 each online, roughly. So, seems fine. Don't know how the premium packs are going to play out math-wise, depending on what they cost. So that's something to keep an eye on. They did acknowledge that Historic has a high barrier to entry. Also very important, because that's something I have been telling people, like, if you start playing Historic tomorrow, or say playing Arena tomorrow, I don't know how you can even build a Historic deck. In a lot of cases, it's going to be worth a damn without spending a lot of money. Even if you're able to buy those bundles, you know, when those are available, it's still going to make Historic a little steep to get into. But at least now you can buy the bundle, or soon be able to buy the bundles and solve that problem-ish. So we'll see, but it is something they're at least aware of, and they've talked about possibly having some type of packages, bundles, whatever. They did also say along that note that they do want to, I guess it sounds like right now, they're going to leave Alchemy in Historic. Though I have a whole different thought on why it's in there, and maybe that needs to be a separate video. But they do want there to be an Eternal format on Arena that at least has a paper counterpart. And they said, they have heard the discussions and the complaints, and obviously people want Pioneer, so they're aware of it. It sounds like they're going to try to get something close. Now, they didn't say these words, but kind of just, context clues. Sounds like they're going to try to get something close to Pioneer. My guess would be some amount of coding or whatnot needs to get done for all the sets that are Pioneer legal. May or may not happen in time, my guess is. But they did say it's coming soon. And so far, when they've said stuff is coming soon in Arena, I think except for like one thing, most of the stuff has been within like a 6-ish month window. So maybe by the end of the summer, we'll see whatever this other format is. I don't know, just guessing. Now, here was an interesting thing they brought up as well. They said that you will now be able to mark your favorite lands in Arena, which again, in our quality of life video, we talked about that too being a thing. But because this technology now exists, that they've coded whatever it is so we can mark our lands, you can now get protection from duplicate rare lands. Example, if you already own Stomping Grounds from the last time we were in Ravnica, let's say we go revisit Ravnica in, 2024, Stomping Grounds would likely be reprinted. If you get your 5th or 6th copy of Stomping Grounds because it's from a different set, you will have some type of protection there. Now, they didn't say what it is. Maybe it just gives you another rare. Maybe you get some extra gems. I don't know. But they did say this technology at least now allows that to not be a problem. And some of us encountered that before when we had some reprinted rare lands from other sets. So cool that this is a thing so we don't get hammered with it. Does it help a ton? Not really, but it is cool that they at least knew it was a thing, acknowledge it, and said now technology at least exists for it. It was brought up as a question from the audience, will we get wildcard conversions? They said at this time, no. Though it did sound like it's something that people had mentioned before, they knew it was a thing, but they just made the decision right now for it to be a no. So don't know if that changes in the future or not. Somebody asked, would there be more historic anthologies? They said yes. There was no timeline mentioned, so probably not any time immediate, but yes, there will be some more in the future. They didn't bring up ICR or individual card rewards that you get for various things actually having duplicate protection, because currently those are one of the only things that we don't get duplicate protection on, and it kind of sucks. They did say the technology is now there, so it's a maybe, right? If they can get it to work out the way they want, possibly. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Unfortunately, vault progress not going to change currently. They're kind of leaving it as it is. Doesn't sound like they want to change anything in the vault, which I wish they would just get rid of uncommons and just make it an extra rare. It wouldn't really break anything, but whatever. And somebody asked about codes being in every pack, and they don't have plans currently to put codes in every booster pack. So I think that covers most of the top issues. Now, I'm sure people ask, what did I think about the announcements, blah, 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 whatever, and that's going to be a thing. So I want to kind of give my quick synopsis of all of it. Buying rares and mythic wildcards, I think, is actually pretty sweet. I think that's a thing we've needed for a while. It's cool that it exists. Not excited about the $50 price tag on it, or whatever the equivalent's going to be in gyms, around $50. I feel like it could be a little bit cheaper, but it feels like a good first step. Maybe there's a chance where, those will be on sale once a month or whatever, and you can just buy them for $10 less or something. That would be nice. We'll see, though. I think if Wizard sees them making a decent amount of money off of it and it's not crushing everything else, or maybe if that just becomes the preferred way to do stuff versus buying boosters, who knows? I'm sure that'll change the price or the makeup of the bundles or whatever at some point. But at least like that it's a thing, because it does make deck building easier. I really do like the idea of the testing ground. I think that's neat. I think, unfortunately, overall, I think there's people who had, were expecting some crazy announcement here, and it kind of wasn't. Even when you read Wizards' blurb they put out about it, I'm really even surprised we found out this much stuff, because it sounded like it was going to be mostly an explanation of the what's and whys of the MTG Arena economy. And we actually got more than that out of this. So in that regard, we got more than what they announced and what we were expecting. The problem is they didn't really tell you too much beyond this. There was a few little tidbits here and there, and there were some things that I guess were related that Blake kind of foreshadowed would be referenced in 2 weeks. because they're going to do their organized play announcement. So that's exciting. So I'll probably be looking forward to that even more than this. So, I mean, we at least have that to look forward to. We know that's going to be something else. A few of those things related to Arena, but it won't be a lot of Arena things on that. I think it was also good that when they started, Blake kind of prefaced it as saying, this is a start of a conversation, right? These aren't the end all be all. There's a bunch of things they're working on, a bunch of things coming down the pipe. They're still taking feedback on things. So maybe we have these once every 8 to 12 weeks or whatever, say, okay, hey, here's what we're doing economically. Here's what's going to be changing. Here's what's going to be coming, right? Because it seemed like, other than, typical chat stuff, people were mostly at least interested. It drew a lot of viewers, so it did matter to people. That people want to see, like, hey, what's changing? What's going on? I would like to have some things fixed in Arena. And they did reference some things that, like, hey, we know this is a problem. Here's something we've heard. We're just not currently working on it while we take care of the other things. And the biggest thing is just knowing that apparently we are close to having this new Pioneer or Pioneer-like format being launched on Arena. I think that's going to be exciting for a lot of people, especially when you can get to a world where we start going back to our retail stores and playing at our favorite local game stores, but you also get to test online now, and then you can bring those decks to paper, or you can get more tournaments online with a paper format, and now you get more people interested because people actually be playing that. So I think those were benefits. Do I think any of this drastically changes the economy? Not really. I think, some of the duplicate protection's nice. I do think buying the wildcards is nice, but I don't think this makes it drastically more affordable. I do think it makes it more affordable, but I mean, if we're talking about like what percentage impact is it? I mean, 10-point scale. I mean, these were probably like a 1.5 or a 2. You know what I mean? Like, they're nice. They do make a couple of things more affordable, but they don't really swing it to where somebody who was struggling to play Arena before can play now, right? Or people that are spending a bunch now spend any significant amount less. Like, that's just not a thing. So while they were positive-ish, I think it still leaves the Arena economy in a state of fine, but not good. And there's still a bunch of things we can work on. So yeah, I don't think any of them were particularly great. I don't think any of them particularly terrible. Most of the news was kind of what we expected, but I don't know. Y'all let me know down in the comments, though, if you think these are good announcements, bad announcements, were you expecting more or less? Does this change anything for you? Are you looking forward to anything they talked about? Also, if you would be so kind, please consider hitting the join button, because, man, it was a lot to prep and go through and get notes for this, and I appreciate doing this type of stuff. I always love your love and support. But even if you can't do that, please remember, like, subscribe, share, all that wonderful stuff. Click the notification bell. Choose all notifications so you don't miss any future videos or content we have coming. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.